cannot be. You are dead.
I'm alive!
It is I, Bunnii Chanel, back with a brand new edition. And if you're new here, welcome. Please stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen.
And to my subscribers, I'm sorry that I've been silent and away. Yet, you know, this idea has lived rent-free in the softest parts of my cranium. And since my ghostly spirit is trying to emerge since Halloween is practically here, I thought I'd share this video with you. When your parents are in their late 20s with a few young children and you live in a small town in the Midwest, what better way to spend time during a rainy or snowy weekend than to watch the latest movies? Back in the 90s, we didn't have streaming services. We had videotapes and a VCR. You could either buy the movie, rent the movie, or just wait 2 or 3 years for it to be censored to shit and put onto TV.
I've had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
We'd have to cross town to our local video store where it smelled of musty, dirty carpet, bait tanks, and cigarettes. Of course, I would have to get the cutest movie, either Babe or Free Willy, for example, and of course, whatever Disney movie came out that year. Though there's a point in your childhood where you decide to discover what your parents decided to watch after they put you to bed. You think you're being sneaky, walking down the hall to take that peek at the TV, then you set your tiny eyeballs onto that small screen, having the chemicals in your brain alter, turning you into a husk of what was once an innocent child. You could either decide to cry, terrified and alone in bed, or you could cry to your parents and show them that you didn't go to bed like they told you to. Either way, it's a terrible outcome when you're only 6. Or you could be like my young and dumb parents who didn't really care about what they watched with us as long as we closed our eyes during the naughty parts.
Number 5.
When you think about a mom in the 90s, you might think of moms like Suzanne Summers in Step by Step, Fran Drescher in The Nanny, or Betsy Randall in Boy Meets World. A real Martha Stewart type of mom who cooks, cleans, and keeps everything pristine.
It's a good thing.
Serial Mom, starring iconic legend Kathleen Turner, was written and directed by John Waters. This guy, who made this.
Could you give us some of your political beliefs?
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit. Filth are my politics. Filth is my life. Take whatever you like.
Yes.
The movie was made in 1994 about a suburban housewife who shares all the cliched characteristics of your typical homemaker wife, except for one detail. She'll murder anyone if she feels that they caused any sort of dig, snub, or wrongdoing towards her or her family members. I've had enough time to ponder why this movie stuck between my membranes all these years, since this movie isn't really scary. It is a horror comedy satire, yet when you're too young to be watching someone being murdered by a soccer mom who helps the school bake sales, unaware of the context and nuance of the film, that alone is scary enough.
I don't like to read about movies. They're so violent.
This next movie isn't even a horror movie, but there is just one iconic scene that felt alienated compared to the rest of the movie. I'm not going to discuss too much about the movie Spaceballs, but I will discuss the very scene that out of nowhere decided to teach me that you couldn't even trust a comedy. Spaceballs, which was directed by Mel Brooks, is a parody of Star Wars, made in 1987. Towards the end of the movie, when Lone Star and Barf go to a diner to eat, a man begins to scream in agony, falls back onto the table, and you could start to see something ripping his insides, trying to get out. Obviously a parody of the iconic scene from Alien, yet the small alien that tore out of this man brings out a top hat and a cane to dance and to sing, "Hello, my baby." It absolutely scared little old me when I literally was just laughing at jokes about Star Wars, at John Candy, and adult things I didn't understand at the time.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it.
That sudden tonal shift, especially when the movie doesn't show anything similar in its entirety, was enough to tether to my memory, since whenever I watch it now, I always think, this part scared the piss out of me when I first saw it, which is why it made it to the list of movies that my family members should have known to wait to let their Disney princess watch until she was older. Stay tuned until the end to find out if I'm a Disney adult or not. And since I brought up classic cartoons in this section, let's head to number 3 on the list. My mom always tells me that I was named after one of the main characters of this movie. I'll wait to let you guess. You're right, it was Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out in 1988, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Even though this is on my movies that scared me more than intended, this is by far one of my top 5 favorite movies. If you've ever seen the movie as a young Padawan, you already know the exact scene that not only traumatized me, but every kid in the late 80s and the 90s. It's when Judge Doom, played by the beloved Christopher Lloyd, reveals himself to be an evil toon in disguise after Eddie tried to steamroll him. The voice change alone was terrifying enough. But you add in the saw spiral eyeballs and Dutch angle film technique, screaming about killing Eddie's brother? Why did adults think this movie was for the kids? I didn't even have to look up an image of Judge Doom unleashing his horrific face to know what he looks like. It's ingrained into my living being. Okay, so before I am putting the video together, I want to make sure to let you guys know that I am going to be drawing Judge Doom from memory. I think I said there was saw spirals, but I think it was just circles in his eyes that changed how the thick and thinness of them. So it's kind of like this. So that's what it looks like. And it wasn't like it was that hard to guess what patty cake meant.
It can't be! Jessica's my wife! It's absolutely impossible!
These last 2 movies on my list, with a surprise short list of honorable mentions at the end, not only did they haunt my dreams or were weaponized by my family who tormented me daily, they have definitely helped shape my love for all things horror related. Mars Attacks was directed by Tim Burton. It is action-packed, star-packed, a dark comedy that also, dare I say, adds a dash of romance. Seems like a family-friendly enough movie to watch. Until it wasn't. Mars Attacks is another cult classic about Martians invading Earth. I do declare that I am a Tim Burton fan, and I would say that this is the most horrifying one he's made. I don't think it's normal for a 6-year-old to discover what body horror is at that age, because when I watched this, it unlocked a whole new hell of nightmares. None of the disturbing death scenes in the movie compared to when Sarah Jessica Parker, Pierce Brosnan, and a chihuahua had their heads taken off, experimented on, with SJP's head being switched around with the tiny dogs. That introduction of how they looked at the end has truly developed itself into my soul. Comedic. I'm so aware that it is now, but at the time, I'm pretty sure that that was my very first introduction to Uncanny Valley body horror, which nowadays is one of my favorite horror niches.
Why can't we work out our differences?
This last movie, though, is kind of a double feature, as it also had a series. It will be a bit longer since it is one of my secrets that only my family knew about, but viewers, I'm ready to share it with you. It feels embarrassing as an adult. The one movie that has always terrified me. Tales Tales from the Crypt was originally a comic book in the 1950s, which HBO developed into a TV series between 1989 and 1996. I mentioned that it's a comic book not only because I love to share facts I know or learn with you, but because my father is a big comic book nerd, and a comic book fan is going to have to watch the adaptation. I'm not sure when the first time I watched the movie, whether it was at my uncle's house or in a tiny motel room during one of my dad's softball tournaments. It wasn't even the stories that was told in each episode, it was the host, the Crypt Keeper. This motherfucking puppet tormented me, not until I got just a little teensy bit older, but even today, as a middle-aged little lady, I'm scared of a puppet who has Chucky's eyes. I'm not even scared of Chucky the doll, but I know whose eyes those really are. There is a reason why I'm so terrified, and it's not just because my parents or older brother would watch it whenever they knew it was on cable TV, because they knew the Crypt Keeper scared me to the core, but they could and would often sing or hum the theme song or laugh like the Crypt Keeper, and this legit would happen. It would send me into complete distress, bawling my guts out. I could be across the room or in the basement, would still have an emotional breakdown if I heard them. Like I've said, I watched Disney princess movies and always tried dressing like a princess. Look at me now, mom and dad. Just get a good look. The entire family thought my reaction was hilarious, so why would they stop? It was the 90s after all. When Demon Knight came out on VHS, you bet your ass that our dingy local video rental store had a cardboard cutout of the director, the Crypt Keeper tucked up in a corner, and I am serious when saying this. I wouldn't enter the store with my mom. She was the only one with me, and I was 5. She needed to give me her jacket so I could cover my face to avoid him looking at me. Hell, I even watched the cartoon, Tales from the Crypt Keeper, and I would at times still occasionally have to close my eyes and ears over the animated version of that bastard, yet I did enjoy the cartoon. By the time I was 12, I was able to watch the show, except I had to still cover my eyes and ears whenever the Crypt Keeper came on. I even had a dream where he asked me to cut out one of my dad's kidneys to give him. Yeah. So, as years went on, people kind of forgot about Tales from the Crypt. I didn't see him as often on TV anymore, nor did I see him in any movie rental stores, and my family didn't torture me anymore. Occasionally, during Halloween, I would get a jump scare or two seeing any rare decoration with the Crypt Keeper's face on it. I eventually bought a couple of the seasons from Tales from the Crypt to watch and remind myself that it is just a puppet, and by that time, I genuinely loved horror. Now, all the seasons are streaming on Amazon Prime under Shudder, and both of the movies are on there too, and I'm extremely happy that it is. A resurgence of a beloved character that was forgotten by time, but not by the truly fanatic. It brings back all that nostalgia, especially if you go and watch it now. It's insanely outdated, and you'll even notice many similarities in story concepts from certain episodes from the show to new horror movies today. I don't have to cover my eyes or ears if I hear his laugh, voice, or the theme song, or if anyone does an impression of him, though there is still that lingering anxiety in my chest that shows up.
Oh, sorry, kiddies, but that story just makes me go all to pieces.
Well, you've made it through the top 5 movies that truly left its mark on the woman that I would become today. I have 4 other movies that didn't make the cut but do deserve honorable mentions and a quick and simple reason as to why it scared me. The Mummy, the scarab scene. Arachnophobia, because dude, spiders. The spiders. But I did have the comic book though. Spawn, the clown, he was scary. Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure, when Large Marge changes her face real fucking quick.
It looked like this.
The horror genre has become such a comforting companion for most of my life, even if a silly movie decides to trick me into seeing something more disturbing than my mind's eye, or if my parents didn't really follow the parental guidelines on watching movies, or if they emotionally damaged me. We live and we learn, or we could get cut up into pieces because we angered the friendly neighborhood mom. And no, I am not a Disney adult. I've never been to Disneyland. If you've made it this far, don't forget to leave a like on the video. Please subscribe for more commentary on movies, internet personalities, and my opinions that I feel an itch to discuss with you. Feel free to leave me a comment on what movie you watched in your childhood that you shouldn't have, or didn't realize a simple scene would terrify you so much. I'll see you in the next one.
We never even got a chance to play hide and go shriek together.